Welcome to the Sports Giant Network, and today in this video, I'm reviewing UFC 315. Heavy that just happened this past Saturday from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, as we got a new champion and a legend's retirement. We'll get all to that during this video, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, share button, and we'll go from here. And this video is coming out later than expected. Sorry about that, but a lot happened, but it is what it is. Hey, we're getting the video out, so it's all good. And UFC just announced International Fight Week main event, and Dricus and Hamza and all that stuff. So I am gonna make a video talking about that. I'll address that in another video. It will come out, but yeah, the main event play a part in International Fight Week, ironically enough. So yeah. But anyway, this is about UFC 315. I'll try to get through that, and like I said, I'll do a video talking about all the fights that got made for International Fight Week and all that stuff. So some other fights that got announced, but I do want to mention three fights in the prelims real quick that I want to shout out. I do want to shout out the first fight in the prelims as Bezek Amelkhan knocks out Brad Katana in the first fight of the card. As Brad Katana had never been finished in his MMA career, and yet Bezek knocking him out based in the minutes. That I gotta give credit to. Bezek's good. He fought Umar Nurmagomedov on short notice and actually dropped Umar in their fight before Umar just took him down. Was just basically won by a boring decision. And I remember watching that and being shocked that Umar got dropped. But then, like I said, he won by Umar. That he won by boring decision. But still, Bezek dropped Umar, and here he drops Brakatan and finishes him. So shout out to Bezek. Also, another fight I want to talk about is Mike Andre Barrio knocking out Bruno Silva via elbow. Vicious knockout. And it was vicious because Bruno Silva had to be taken out through a stretcher. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, I mean, Bruno Silva might have to retire. I mean, if you're getting knocked out like that, you can stretcher out. Especially he's older too, and he hasn't looked good in his recent fights. Like before, he was a good middleweight Bruno Silva, but then his recent performances, he hasn't looked as good. He's looked slower. You can tell the age is catching up to him. As hang on, give me one moment. Someone knocking the door. Sorry about that, guys. I had to pause the video because dogs were barking and stuff. But what fight was I talking about? Oh yeah, Mark Andre Barrio getting a knockout Bruno Silva. That's what it was. Good knockout. Scary though because Bruno Silva had to be stretcher off, carried up, taken out on a stretcher. He's doing well. He's doing better, thankfully. But yeah, Bruno Silva needs to retire. Probably needs to retire just because he hasn't looked good in his recent fights, and then he's older, and then getting knocked out like that. It's like it'd be time for him to retire. Yeah, that's like crazy. That was crazy, that knockout. Then you had Jasmine Jervicius, submitting Jessica Andrade. And like I said, Andrade is never in a boring fight. She wins or lose. And Jasmine Jervicius on a win streak, doing well. She's either on a 5-fight or 6-fight win streak now, something like that. Looking very good. So, recent fights. They gonna be in the top 5 probably in the women's flyweight division. Probably is now. The rankings are already out as I make this video. So good there. Then good victory there. Then Mike Malik gets a big knockout victory in the in the maybe the prelims against Charles Radtke. Mike Malik seems to every time he fights in Canada usually does well. I mean, this was a good victory for him because the last time he fought on a pay-per-view card in Canada, he got embarrassed. He gassed down, got finished by Neil Magny, spiked up 2-0. I know I mentioned he does, Canada, he does well. Usually does, but that Neil Magny fight was, but here he had a good performance, good knockout, maybe in the prelims. So with Canada pay-per-view, so yeah, good for him. Anyway, let's talk about the first fight in the main card. Benoit Saint Denis submitting Kyle Prepolec. I mean, no one was surprised. Benoit losing to Kyle Prepolec would have been one of the big upsets in MMA history. It really would have done a lot of bad things for Benoit. Benoit won. He took Prepolec down. Prepolec did a good job in the first round, not taking too much damage on the ground for the most part. But it was only a matter of time. Benoit, was able to, he drew some nice elbows in the second round. Nice elbows that was catching Prepolec and hurting him badly. Really hurt him badly, led to the finish because he was hurt badly. He got taken down, arm triangle immediately, and then he tapped out. Probably looked good for the most part, striking. He did call Benoit a few times, but nothing too crazy. But the thing with Benoit that people are not talking about, I think that's fair with Benoit, is that he still has the same deficiencies, leave himself wide open to get hit, especially with chin up, and also he looked kind of like he looked kind of slow. If that makes sense. Like he looked like he's still the same Benoit from previously, and people feel like that style is not going to work against the top elite lightweights, and they might be right about that. I think some of the guys in the rankings Benoit can beat, but a lot of them I don't trust Benoit to beat at the moment personally. But it was still a good victory, no less. He did what he was supposed to do. Took out this guy in short notice. Prelims looked good, striking for the most decent for a decent part. Looked solid. Landed some shots in Benoit. Did a good job in that first round. Not taking too much damage from Benoit, but still he lost. And good. It was a good victory for Benoit. I want to mind him and Metsu's Cameron or maybe Joe Alvarez rematch. Who knows? Maybe this confidence thing is good for maybe this boost his confidence. Maybe they mentioned he went to a new train camp or it's a new train camp or he had a new coach now, something like that. He has one of Natalia Silva's coaches on his corner, and Silva is a top-ranked middleweight. So I don't know if maybe he makes improvements going into his next fight, and we see it. But we'll have to find out. Anyway, good victory for Benoit. We get some water real quick before I talk about Natalia Silva's performance. It's always good to drink water. Always good. Always drink that water. But anyway, Natalia Silva beats Alexa Grasso. Unanimous decision. Taylor Silva looked good, man. I mean, her kicking game, wow. She looked fast. Her kicks out, man. She was moving at angles, using good footwork. And Alexa Grasso in this fight, she had decent moments. Like she landed several jabs throughout the fight, and her jab was working. I think Dean Thomas mentioned it in the commentary that she would land jabs, but she never moved forward. She never like follow up with it, and that's what's hurting her because she would land jabs in Silva, but she never like did anything else. Like didn't move, like never do anything else. Never moved forward. Did nothing. Made it easy for Silva to circle out and then just throw kicks at her. I mean, Silva can body kicks, leg kicks, kicks to the face. I mean, she has side kick like a sweet chin music, like she's Shawn Michaels or something for all the wrestling fans out there. So look, she was Shawn Michaels. That's like sweet chin music, that side kick, super kick, and she was really like beating the crap out of Alexa Grasso. She beat her up badly, man. She dominated her. Alexa Grasso footwork, some people were pointing out, which is true, I believe, was not there. She didn't have the best footwork. Then Zenzak could do a good job with footwork, using angles to cut off Silva. Silva would just circle out and just throw a bunch of kicks and stuff and good punches. Silva lands some good counters too. I think the second round she landed like a good right hook that really stunned Alexa. I want to say it was in the second round or third round she landed one that was really nice. Silva that is landed a good right on Alexa, and Silva beats her comfortably. Looks like the next. It definitely looks like her. I think Natalia Silva is probably going to be champion. Probably. Actually, she might be, but I do. However, I do think you know what. I'll talk about that when I cover the co-main event because obviously the women's flyweight title was on the line, and we'll talk about that. But Silva looked great. Definitely looked good. Beat Alexa Grasso. Grasso did go for a takedown in the third round. I think she got a takedown, I believe, but did nothing with it, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Silva just outclassed her. Silva just looked so good. She looked good, man. She's she could get a title fight next, but she probably won't because they might do Valentina and Zhang Li, which they should do. I definitely want to see that. Now's the time to do it. She might have to, I can see Silva fighting the winner of Aaron Blanchfield and Macy Barber, which is happening. Yeah, at the end of the month. Yeah, it's happening at the end of the month. So I can totally see that happening potentially. But good performance by Natalia Silva. Her strike. She looks like the next evolution of striking. Natalia Silva, that is. She really does. I don't know why my nose has been itchy. I don't know why. Like it's like anyway. Yeah, I think she has yeah, she's the evolution of striking, and I do think she has the potential to be champion potentially, and hopefully she's bringing a new era of women's striking and women's fighting, or this evolution of it. So that way the women's fighting and UFC doesn't look so pedestrian at times, especially striking. Hopefully that happens, but we'll see. because that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like women's MMA, because they feel like it's just boring. That it just looks so low level. That's one of the reasons why people groan, get upset when there's two women fights on the main card of pay-per-view. And usually, a lot of times, they have good justification, and I can't blame them. But hopefully, Silva can change all that. Maybe more fighters come out, more younger females come out and actually showcase higher level striking and fighting in general. But we'll see. Anyway, we're changing from that fight to Jose Aldo versus Aiemann Zahabi. I just did title the video. I said retirement of a legend because Jose Aldo loses this fight via unanimous decision and retires. And I know some people thought Aldo got robbed. I actually disagree. I don't agree with that notion at all. I understand the arguments made for Aldo winning that fight, particularly rounds 1 and 2. Some people say round 3, but I don't agree with that at all. The reason why is because, yes, Aldo hurt Zabi and hit a perfect soccer kick. I mean, soccer kick, Zabi was was getting up from the ground, and his feet. I mean, he wasn't down. He was bent. He was getting up after he was bent over because I think he was wobbled from one of the punches Aldo landed that hurt him badly, and he was getting up, and then Aldo landed a beautiful soccer kick. I called him perfectly. I don't know how Zabi didn't. I mean, Zabi's got a chin because he didn't draw from that. Yeah, Zabi's toughness was showcased in this fight. Zabi's tough because in the first round also he got hit with a bunch of body shots, which I loved seeing, and he survived them. And then the third round he got beat up, but it was only for a 2-minute sprint because Aldo tired out and he got taken down. Aldo and got beat up with, and basically was on the ground for 3 minutes. As Zabi landed a good amount of elbows, not enough to get for a finish, but he landed some good ground and pound that third round, and it was for 3 minutes too. And Aldo really didn't do much to get out of that position, or really couldn't because he was tired. And that's why I was okay with the third. That's why I give the third on Zahabi, just because of that final 3 minutes and what he did with laying the elbows on Aldo, landing some ground and pounds. Aldo did not get up at all, and really didn't. And really basically gassed out after that barrage in the first 2 minutes of the third round, where he basically hurt Zahabi and wobbled him and then that kick, like I mentioned, and stuff like that. But in the first round, Aldo looked really good. He looked good the first round. Landed a bunch of body shots in Zabi. Zabi ate a lot of body shots, and Zabi didn't land much until the final 45 seconds or 30 seconds of that round, where he pressed forward, landed some decent shots in Aldo. But so Aldo won that round. Round 2, I understand why you think Aldo might have. You think it looked like Aldo might have landed more damaging shots, but it wasn't to the point where Zabi was getting rocked a lot or moving backwards or hurt. So Zabi still pressed forward for most of that round and landed a good amount of shots himself. I think people are ignoring the shots Zabi landed in that second round, especially he landed jabs and straight rights, and Aldo slowed down. Aldo threw a lot of shots in that first round, more than he usually does, and he kind of gassed. He was already slowing down in that second round. He threw some shots, but there wasn't a lot of activity coming on Aldo's way. I mean, coming from Aldo, excuse me. And he basically, and Zabi was more active and landed more, especially that final 30 seconds. And if you watch that the final 15 seconds, Zabi lands a lot of shots. I think he landed a knee on Aldo at one point, a knee to the face or something like that. And that, to me, really solidified that round to me for Zabi. I think people are ignoring what Aldo did. I think people are ignoring what Zabi did. And in the third round, like I mentioned, Aldo hurt Zabi, hurt him badly, but then Zabi gets a takedown and just throws a bunch of elbows, lands a good amount of them on Aldo, and Aldo does nothing. He's gassed out, he's tired, and to me, I can't be mad at the judges for getting Zabi. I think if you really watch that fight and are objective, not just being a Jose Aldo, homer or fan, which I like Aldo, I'm a fan of, but I'd be objective and say Zabi did enough to win. Aldo blew the fight. He kind of blew it. And unfortunately with Jose Aldo, his cardio has not been the best, especially especially in bantamweight. Despite being the legend that he is, but it seems like his cardio isn't his cardio at times could be questionable. And especially if it gets a high activity fight, it really slows down Aldo's gas tank. And especially in this fight, just seemed like once he couldn't get the finish, he just his life meter or gas tank basically went to E basically, or damn near E, or empty. You guys knew what I meant by E. I think most of you understand. if you drive a car, he has to eat, and all that. Anyway, that's a I didn't mean to get off on a tangent there. My bad, but yeah, like it just went to zero, and he just blew this fight. And Aldo retired after this. And you know what? This is probably a legit retirement. Aldo's 37. He's been fighting since what 2005 or yeah 2005 I think, or maybe late '04. But he's been fighting for a long ass time. He took a year and a half break, almost 2 year break from MMA to do boxing, but then came back and has fought 3 fights. And people were complaining how the UFC did Jose Aldo his final run in his last 3 fights, and I agree. I mean, the Martinez fight I don't mind. I actually like the fact they gave Martinez because Martinez was on a roll. He looked like the dark horse in the bantamweight division. Plus, he was winning fights by leg kicks, kind of like Aldo was early in his career, where his leg kicks were so devastating. And so it was like a test to see where Jose Aldo was in his career in MMA, and he beat Martinez. It looked very great. But then they gave Mario Batista. And then Mario Batista did what he did in that third round, which Aldo should have won that fight. Now that's a fight to be mad at the judges for. Aldo won that fight, despite what Mario Batista did in that third round. Aldo landed more damaging shots and should have gotten that decision, but the judges, I don't know what they were doing that night in October in Salt Lake City. But you had that, and you had this fight. And it's like Zabi, he's not exactly a big name. Mario Batista is good, but he's not a big name. The UFC should have done him and Cruz before Cruz retired, considering the two legends for the WEC, who are both UFC champion and both they're both UFC champions at the same time, bantamweight and featherweight champion, whose careers whose careers lap with each other. Like I don't know what the UFC was thinking, not doing the Cruz and Aldo fight before Cruz retired. That's bullshit. That does bother me because that's a fight we all wanted to see. Two legends going at each other. They didn't do that. They didn't do Aldo and Cejudo, two legends, big names, or Aldo and freaking Sainthagen. Like, this is Jose Aldo. He should put in bigger name fights. He probably would have lost a lot of them, but still, because where he is in his career, although he maybe could be in Cruz, but still, do that. Do that. Like, let's see him big name fights as especially since he's at the retirement. He's at the end. We all know he's at the end. I don't know why the UFC didn't do a good job there. They dropped the ball massively there. And then I understand and they probably should have had a video package ready for Jose Aldo. They should have. I know he didn't. I know going into this fight, he wasn't telling people he was going to retire or thinking about retirement. I understand that, but still, you have to know that he's older. He's towards the end of his career. He might retire if he loses. You probably should have something in place for him to celebrate Jose Aldo. A video package. I mean, this is Jose Aldo. He's in the Hall of Fame, the UFC Hall of Fame. He's one of the most legendary fighters in MMA history. One of the great Brazilians, one of the great featherweights of all time. This is how you do it. He has no video package, but Anthony fucking Smith gets 20 minutes of it. Michelle Watson gets it. Let's see who else got one. Molly McCann got like a retirement speech, and like who else? There was one more. Who? Let's see, Michelle Watson, Smith, McCann. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Like, wait a minute, these guys get it, but Aldo don't. When Aldo's done more than all of them combined, when he's a true legend, that's just disgraceful. UFC, you gotta be ashamed of yourselves. You deserve all the shit roasting you're getting. You're getting by fans. You deserve it, UFC. You deserve it. Also, he didn't. He had nothing for Stipe when he retired. The greatest heavyweight UFC history. You did nothing for him. Wait till a week later for a video package for fucking Stipe. That's bullshit too. UFC, I gotta treat your legends better, man. This is bullshit. This is disgraceful, man. Disgraceful. You did right with Robbie Lawler, thankfully. Great, we knew he was gonna retire going into this fight, but still, you did. I'm glad you did right by him, but you gotta do better with other legends, man. That's disgraceful. You did no package, no special thing for Aldo. Nothing for Stipe? Ugh. Disgraceful. Terrible. Do better. Zabi deserves a victory. It's a good victory, good performance by him in Montreal, his hometown. He had, he has his brother Faraz Zabi, who's the head coach of TriStar. Great MMA gym. Faraz Zabi was head coach of George St. Pierre, where ironically was in Aiemann Zahabi's corner. Ironically enough, St. Pierre, Rory McDonald, R. Allen. He's coached Kenny Florian at one point. He's coached some good fighters. He's Faraz Zabi. Now he's coaching his brother. His brother's older. He's 37 too, but his brother doesn't have the mileage that Aldo does. And his brother kind of like focused on helping his Aiemann was focusing on helping his brother Faraz training before he really went on his MMA career. and that's why he doesn't have as many fights. But yeah, good victory for Aiemann Zahabi. Co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko wins decision via Montreal. This fight wasn't not the best fight. It really wasn't. Montreal really, her performance was trash. She just did a lot of clinching, she landed a takedown. I'll give her credit. She landed a takedown, and she did land one in the second round, and maybe I think she landed another one in the third round. Could be wrong there, but did a lot of clinch work. That's all she was doing, clinching. She landed some good knees in the clinch, but that's all. But most of this fight was her clinching, and she didn't. And Montreal was a striker. She didn't really throw a lot of strikes. She didn't really want to. I mean, the first round she kind of was trying to, engage striking with Valentina, but we saw real quick that Valentina was the better striker. The first round, Valentina freaking busted Montreal up as there was a lot of blood coming out of Montreal, and I thought Montreal was going to get finished because all the blood was coming out of her face. After Valentina landed like a punch to like her nose. I don't know if she broke Montreal's nose or not, but there's a lot of blood coming out of Montreal. And then the fourth round, Valentina drops Montreal, and almost in like last 10 seconds of that round. And then Valentina wins the fifth round. Does enough to win the round 5. As your dog barking. Hang on. Let me pause this again. Sorry about that. Again, we're pausing the video. But yeah, Valentina wins. Anyway, Valentina and Zhang Weili should be next. But if they don't, then Natalia Silva and Valentina. And honestly, it was a couple years ago. I think Valentina would beat Natalya comfortably, but I can see Valentina beating her because she's younger, has very good, striking. But Valentina's got good striking too. I feel like with Natalia Silva, if you're gonna beat her, you have to be like have a Muay Thai background, which Valentina has. And Valentina's fought a lot of Muay Thai fights. Has like a bunch of Muay Thai fights. Just watching Natalia Silva, I feel like you have to have a Muay Thai background and have a good background Muay Thai, which Valentina has. And you gotta have a really good wrestling game to be in takedown game. Yeah, wrestling takedown game to beat Natalia Silva. And Valentina is good at both. And I feel like Valentina might have the style to beat Natalia Silva, but I can see Natalia beating her just because she might be able to be faster than her and be able to like use her movement to maybe make it hard for Valentina. But I can see Valentina win because of Muay Thai and leg kicks and stuff. But that is my opinion. That's what I was mentioning earlier with Natalya. But anyway, I'm going to turn into the main event. I don't know why my voice broke there. Jack Maddalena beats Belal Muhammad to be the new welterweight champion. Let's go. Oh my gosh. This was a great fight. I hate Belal Muhammad. See him lose. Finally have a good welterweight champion I actually like. That's easy. That's likable. Oh, thank you. Fuck Willie, fuck Usman, fuck Leon, and fuck Belal. Hate not like any of them. I don't. Finally, Jack Maddalena, a champion. Finally, a champion to like. Hopefully, if if Jack doesn't have one title ring, he hopefully loses to someone like Joaquin Buckley or Sean Brady. Not Ian Gary, the cuck. Fuck Ian Gary. Motherfucking, or, he don't deserve a title fight. Get your ass. No, we'll never fight, you fucking cuck. Fuck you, Ian. Fucking, well, I'm gonna get a title fight next. No, you ain't. You just lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov 5 months ago, who's undefeated. Get back in the line. Wait your turn. Fucking ridiculous. Fuck Ian Gary. But anyway, back to this fight. Jack won the fight. Some people thought Belal might have won. Nah, Jack won the fight 3 rounds to 2. For people acting like Jack could have won all 5 rounds, that's insane. No, that's crazy. I'm a Belal hater, but even I think that's ridiculous and unfair to Belal. Belal landed a decent amount of strikes on Jack. The thing that surprised me the most is how this was mostly striking matchup for like 80% of the fight. I thought Belal was going to win because Belal was going to take him down, controlling. Belal was good at taking guys down and controlling them, or if they get up, taking them again. He's very good at that chain wrestling. And he didn't do it here. Well, I mean, he didn't attempt a takedown to like. He tried one takedown in the second round, but then didn't really go for more of them to like later on the fight after Jack had hurt him and after they had been sweating, and they have been exchanging stuff, and sweat builds up. As sweat builds up, it's hard to take guys down. It's easier to take them down in the dry. And I'm surprised Belal in the first round didn't go for a takedown. That surprised me. But Jack Delamain showed good takedown defense, stuffed 6 takedowns, and was able to get up from 3 of them. And was able to get up very well. In the 5th round, he got taken down, but he got real quickly after going for a takedown himself, Jack, which made no sense. But Jack's boxing looked very good. I mean, Jack has great boxing. I think we all knew Jack's boxing is the best in welterweight. He had great boxing, landed some good shots, good body head combinations at Belal, fucking him up badly. We found out that Belal had a broken orbital, broken nose, and obviously had a split lip on his top lip, looking like Robbie Lawler after the second Roy McDonald fight. He had that split lip that was nasty. And yeah, Jack to me won this fight. If this was like Pride style, Japanese MMA style rules where you judge the whole fight and see who won there, Jack wins. Even the North American style, which I hate, which I think we should adopt the Japanese and ONE FC rule way of judging fights. I think it's better anyway. It's better for mixed martial arts anyway. Even the UFC 10-9 boxing BS system, which I hate. To me, Jack won. Jack clearly won round 2, 3, and 5. Clearly won. Round 1, I gave to Belal. I can understand why some people give it to Jack, but I thought Belal landed more shots. I know Jack might have shots have more impact because Belal has no power in shots, but I think Jack landed enough for me to give him that round. Despite landing the more damaging shots, he didn't like. It wasn't to the point where Belal was moving backwards in any significant part of the fight. He still kept pressing forward. He still was throwing shots and landed a good amount of shots on Jack. I mean, I know Jack did way more damage, obviously, in the fight, but in that round, he landed a decent amount of shots. Belal, I thought Belal did enough to win round 1 because he landed more. It was close, and he was pressing forward as well. And definitely Jack landed enough shots that had enough impact for him to take that round, in my opinion. In round 4, Belal won as well. That was his best round. And Belal did decent work. I mean, Jack had like a mouse or like a black eye on his, or like a welts underneath his his right eye basically. So I'm looking at the camera, like the screen of my laptop, so everything's reversed from what I see. When you see a mirror, everything's reversed, kind of like that. But yeah, Belal did decent. Belal is tough. I'll give him credit. Belal got his big shots and didn't get dropped or finished. I give him credit there because a lot of guys probably been finished if they're getting those hit those shots from Jack Della Molina, especially if broken nose, broken orbital, split lip. Yeah, Belal's tough. Belal's got shown improvement in his hands. Also, it was an entertaining fight. Belal Muhammad gives an entertaining fight, and it took Jack Della Molina to do it. And Jack's a new champion. Congratulations to Jack Della Molina, this guy who started his MMA career 0-2. Jack, and he's won 18 in a row, and now he's the welterweight champion. And Jack DeMolina had good body head combinations, good body shots, good boxing, and was able to stuff a lot of Belal's takedowns, like I said, and get up from Belal's takedowns relatively quickly. Did a good job. He trained with Craig Jones, which helped. Which Craig Jones is a very good grappler, and working with Craig Jones is definitely going to help you out with your takedown defense and ability to get up, and grappling too, especially. Volk used it when Volk was training with him when he fought Islam the first time, and Volk had a good amount of success with Islam, the grappling. Well, he did better than we expected. Did way better. I know Islam took his back, like in that 4th round, and Volk had a hard time getting up. But Volk did. But if you think about it, Volk did really good in in the wrestling exchanges against Islam that first fight. I mention this because, as we all know, have Belal won, Islam's going to stay at 155 and fight Ilya. But now that Jack won, Islam's going up in weight and fighting Jack Della Molina. It's confirmed they're going to fight each other. We just don't know when or where, but they're fighting each other. And I'm excited for that because that's a good fight. I mean, but if you had told me before if Islam Jack fought, I would pick Islam. But now, seeing this performance, I think it's 50. It's 50-50. And I'm leaning more towards Jack because Jack's bigger. He's probably the bigger opponent Islam's fought. And he's got the ability to hurt you with his hands too. Islam's better. Islam's a more defensively responsible fighter than Belal is, especially in the striking. Islam's defense is very good, and he doesn't get hit a lot. But it might be different going into welterweight versus lightweights. I mean, I don't know. I actually don't remember Jack's reach. I gotta look it up and see. Like, how it compares to some of Islam's opponents. But yeah, I gotta give. But yeah, I gotta give this. But yeah, I think Jack could legitimately beat Islam. I think I would not be shocked if he beats up Islam and hurts him. I could totally see that happening. But I'm excited for that fight. That's gonna be a big fight. I think it's 50-50, but or nah, 55-45 Jack. That's what it seems like. I think Jack. I'm leaning towards Jack in this fight, but who knows? Maybe I think about it, watch more tape. I might consider Islam. I might pick Islam, but yeah, at the moment I'm leaning towards Jack Della Maddalena. I think Jack probably can beat Islam, especially with striking and being bigger and taller than most of the opponents, not all the opponents Islam's fought in his career. And train with Craig Jones, you might be able to handle Islam's grappling, his wrestling. So it seems like if you want to stop the Dagestani wrestlers, you train with Craig Jones and he gets you prepared. That's what it seems like. It seems like that. Maybe that's what it seems like. We'll see if it's truly the case against Islam, if for Jack. Because Bilal did train with Habib and them in Islam, but he didn't train with them fully. He trained with them for a little bit. He didn't exactly train with them all the time. So that's something we gotta take into consideration. I mean, it might working with Craig Jones might it definitely improves your wrestling, you take down the fence, your grappling, but it's not exactly proven to be the antidote to Dagestani wrestling with kryptonite. It hasn't proven it fully. We'll see. Maybe it does after the Islam and Jack fight. We'll see. All I know is if Sean Brady fought Jack Del Molina, I'm still picking Sean Brady just because Sean Brady did submit Craig Jones in a grappling match. But that's a whole other story for another day. I think Jack could beat. I think Jack beats Ian Gary easily. I think Jack beats Joaquin Buckley, Kamaru Usman at this point in his career, and a lot of guys. Jack Shavkat, I don't know. I really don't. I think a healthy Shavkat could beat Jack, and I think Sean Brady beats Jack. I think everyone. I think most guys Jack Del Molina beats. But yeah, that's congratulations to Jack. Let's go, new champion. Belal mentioned Canelo hands, not street for much takedowns. People were making a joke that Jack got Bivol hands, which is funny if you know Canelo's career. But yeah, good job, Jack Del Molina. Good fight, entertaining fight. Gotta give Belal credit for his toughness and putting on an entertaining fight. Even though, yeah, I got him credit. Surprising to shoot for a takedown earlier, but Jack did a good job at the end stuffing takedowns to get enough from being taken down. And got a new champion. And Jose Aldo, you're a legend. Shout out to you. Good luck to you in your life. I know you may play in money, but in the UFC did you dirty the last 3 fights. They did. UFC got to do better than that. Get bigger matchups and have a video package ready for a legend who's at the end of his career. Come on now. This is Jose Aldo, legend, all-time great. Oh, speaking of Hall of Fame, I do. Vitor Belfort is getting the UFC Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Vitor Belfort, another legend, a Brazilian legend. Vitor Belfort, man. His highlight reels are fun to watch. This man's got highlight reel for days, man. When he got in the UFC at 19, he was fucking up a bunch of dudes, beating the ass. I mean, he finished Tank Abbott when Tank Abbott was like, was fucking up everybody. Not granted, it's Tank Abbott, hot skill level isn't what it is today, but still, Tank Abbott had a name and stuff. They go out there and beat up Tank Abbott. That was pretty impressive back then. And then, he has ups and downs, but Vitor, for the most part, was always find the best of the best. He always was. And he was always beating up good fighters. He was always like a top 10 guy for most of his career until like the end. So, my mention ups and downs, he was losing to elite guys. He wasn't losing to scrubs for the most part. He was losing to elite guys. And he was beating up a bunch of great fighters. I mean, that 2013 run Vitor was TRT Vitor, legendary. Fucking legendary. One of the greatest runs ever. Head kicking motherfuckers left and right. He won 3 fights in 2013 with head kicks. Head kick Michael Bisping, finished him. Partially is the reason why Michael Bisping has one working eye, just because of Vitor Belfort and a head kick. Knocked out Luke Rockhold badly. Gave Luke Rock. No, actually, that was Luke Rockhold's second loss. I was going to say his first loss, but that was his second loss. Had a fucking crazy spinning wheel kick knockout Luke Rockhold. When Luke Rockhold was on a roll, he was coming from the strike force. He hadn't lost in a while. He was top 5 middleweights. Rockhold went up a UFC champion, obviously. And had Rockhold won that fight, he probably would fought for the weight title next and just spinning wheel kick Luke Rockhold out of nowhere. fucking finished him. That was impressive. And then became the first guy to ever knock out Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson, who has a legendary chin, who had never been knocked out TKO ever prior to that Vitor fight. And Vitor Belfort freaking knocked him out. The first guy to do it. And he did it via head kick. And as he avenged his earlier loss to Dan Henderson over in Japan. And, well, yeah, in Pride, but that was the Pride fight in America. But anyway, that's the point. He's a guy, Vitor, who's light heavyweight champion, fought for the middleweight title twice, had a legendary rivalry Anderson Silva that was big in Brazil, and had big fights. And Vitor Belfort was always fun to watch, exciting, and deserves to be UFC Hall of Fame. Like I said, it's got a lot of great victories in UFC. One fight in Pride. Was one of the best fighters for a long time. And was a top 10 guy in his division for like a good 15-year run. One of the pioneers. And TRT Vitor, legendary. TRT Vitor is one of the greatest fighters ever. If you know, you know. It's just amazing. Shout out to Vitor Belfort, man. Deserves to be UFC Hall of Fame. I do want to mention that real quick. Anyway, see you guys later. Good night. This video went way longer than I wanted to. Fuck. Oh well. It is what it is. Have a good day, good night, and I'll see you next time. God bless. And like I said, that video is coming up for international, talking about new fights made for International Fight Week, etc. Anyway, have a good day, good night, and see you later. Bye.